welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
Yes, indeed. You're welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia. Jamal Kamara is my name. My colleagues tonight, a full house, and we also have another face on the platform tonight. But first, let me go to my colleague. My name is Jamal Kamara. I want to join my colleague here from Sweden as well from London, from the state of King James, and also got another one of our kind of co-hosts will be introducing himself later on. So, gentlemen, welcome to tonight's show. Tonight is the 13th of May 2025. A lot of good news going in Liberia. What we got? Let me go to Liv. Liv, how are you doing from your end?
Well, I'm okay, and my weather is great. Great evening, and let me say welcome to big brother that I've not seen for a while, and it's a pleasure to have him tonight. I call him big brother Morris Dolly, and every time I call his name, I think about the Morris Dolly that used to sing, long time. Yeah, if I'm not seeing the two Morris Dollies, maybe I'll always mistaking names.
Don't ask him to sing because you.
I want to say welcome, Mr. Dolly.
Yeah, really. I'm not.
Yeah, you'll be the last person. I'll go to the man who sit at the front of King Charles. Good evening or good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Good evening, gentlemen. This is the Lord Cholope, the friend of King Charles. And he's residing in the UK, precisely an area called Croydon. So the Royal Kingdom, United Kingdom, this is the friend of King Charles. Welcome to the Bottom Line discussion. For those of you that are following for the first time, kindly share our show.
All right.
Yes, it's good to be back here.
Thank you very much, guys. Gentlemen, we want to welcome one of our good old friends. He also wanted to bring behind the bottom line. He's Honorable Mr. Morris Yankuba Dolly. He's with tonight too. We'll be discussing issues that made news in Liberia over the weekend. I know we all sitting to know what's happening, what really happened at the in the House. There was an election in Liberia today, or the House of Speaker House. I mean, something we're going to talk about. I think my colleagues are all buckled up to tell you, and also we want you to be part of it. If you guys want to share with us. Well, your comment section, if you want to give her a call, please let us know. We'll put the number across the platform, the screen, so you can call us and tell what you think. We are here to discuss Liberia. Tonight, we want to first welcome our big brother and man who been helping us to set up this particular platform. Mr. Morris Yankuba, welcome, and welcome to the platform once again. I think this is your second or third time. Welcome. How are you, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is my second time coming. The first one was just a short discussion, but tonight I think I'm going to take some time with you guys. I'm Morris Yankuba Dolly, chairman of the ANC chapter UK.
We're not discussing ANC.
I'm not on this top show as a ANC representative. Right. I'm not going to talk for ANC. But I have my belief in ANC, but I'm not going to talk for ANC on this chapter because that's a rule. So basically, but I'm just introducing myself to all these supporters and line. And Bottom Line is my favorite top show, and I struggle behind it. But luckily today, I have been allowed finally to participate physically.
Right. We'll leave that to Lifa to answer that question. So, welcome once again. This is your place to be. This is your home, and we said from the start that you've been one of the brains behind this program 4 years ago. You really encouraged it. You supported us, even contributed to put this program up together. I think you have your busy schedule. We all will welcome you, gentlemen. I think we work on Mr. Dolly here as. I know he's one in the boom of ANC, but tonight he's not discussing ANC. If he does that, then we'll ask Paul to shut him down. But anyway, that's not a topic tonight.
When Mr. Dolly said he struggled to get on, and finally he's here. It reminds me of this song called "Save the Best for Last."
Yeah, that's correct. So we that's right, Liver. I told Liver going to answer. He gave you answer you read up. So this is a place to be. You're always welcome, and I feel at home, and nobody challenge you here. but just be careful what you're going to talk. Tonight it's not about ANC. Anyway, guys, so we'll take a quick musical break from there. We'll go to our topics tonight, then we'll go for a commercial break. So Paul, take us home. Sorry, bring her in time with our national anthem, then we can go we'll tell you what we got on the menu tonight. So we want to once again welcome. Please share the show. We are here tonight for another 2-hour section. Buckle up and we'll be with you. So Paul, take us through.
Right. So before I take us through what I put in the national anthem up, we want to say thanks to our viewers for following or kindly share the show. If you join it up for the first time, just click on the like button, and then whenever we come on, you'll be notified. So after the short musical break, while we share the show, we will get into the topic.
My people, where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? See, we just tell you. That's why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not corrupt. No one to trust, my people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then stay they delay. People suffer, no work, but people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation is poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go not go corrupt. With their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you. That's why we voted you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
Once again, thank you very much for joining us. This is Button Liberia coming to you live from the center of Europe. My name is again Jamal Kamara. Tonight we'll be taking you through with the issues in Liberia and also the international scene. Tonight we have with us tonight in the house is Mr. Morris Yankuba Dolly. It's not the Morris Dolly that you know of. It's our own Morris Dolly that is here in the UK with us. So, gentlemen, Paul, what we got on the menu tonight? So, before we go further, let us know what we got on the menu tonight for us.
Well, today there was another incident that happened in Liberia. For me, I call it the impasse that been happening. They finally came to their senses and they have a speaker in Liberia. We'll be looking at that in the newspaper. Then also we'll be looking at the survey that was carried out by a group of people regarding the war and economic crime code. The people still want it in Liberia. It's something that we talk about on the issue, but it's gone quiet. And we'll look at the transportation system in Liberia, the commercial vehicles. Now they're not feeling happy of what is happening with them because police have been harassing them for money. We'll look at that. And there are other news. Then we'll go to the international scene. What's happening in Ukraine and what about Africa? Who is this little young man called Tuareg? He had an interview with Russia Today television. Fascinating. Follow us. Interesting topic tonight. And we're going to compare that with the leadership in Liberia compared to the leadership in Burkina Faso. Where are we heading? Are we going backward or Burkina Faso heading for First World War? Liberia is heading for, I don't know, Banana Republic. It's something that we need to discuss tonight. So to our viewers, kindly share the show. It will be fascinating tonight. You hear diverse views from the panelists here, and we'll get Padoli with us tonight, man with a lot of wisdom. So we'll put him in the same category with Joseph Nima Barka. So follow us tonight. That's what we have for you tonight.
And interestingly, he's also a former police officer who served Liberia 30 years in the police. So talking about the police, the drivers talking about police harassment, we also want to listen to him. What are you going to say about that? Our man Limfa Egon Goy. Limfa, I know we want to pick on you from where you are right now. I know you're sitting quietly in the city of in the Republic, the Kingdom
it's
of
a lot
Norway.
of things running through my mind. My mind is busy right now. A lot of things running. But let me say welcome to our viewers, and let's mute ourselves. I think there is some sound in the back. First, let me welcome most of the new people joining us here tonight. Valerie, Sweetie, Sharif. Maybe it's the second time, I don't know, but welcome. We also have Emmanuel Doe, Shani Star, Wallace Fiu, and Sebu Tobe. Welcome to all of you. And of course, our man Pataki, welcome. And the other people, or Dad Lugon, also from the UK, welcome. And Yona Subakra from all the way Canada is here also with us. We want you to help us share the show to your other contacts so that we'll all have a great time together. And we see our man Francis Mensa in the background. Francis is also from Sweden. So this is a European platform, and this is where we discuss the issues. So like Paul said, we're going to cover a host of events tonight. We'll be a little bit out of Africa, and then we'll come back to, or somewhere Africa connected to the rest of the world, and then we'll come back to Mama Liberia, where we'll end up. And we have interesting things that have been happening. Something special happened today, which is the end of mark the supposed end of the impasse that have been going on for 6-7 months now. So it's going to be a great time to stay with us and make this place your home, the Portona Liberia discussions.
Right. Thank you very much, Paul. We'll take off a commercial drive. Then from there, we'll go right into what we got for you. Tonight, we'll go with the newspaper review. From there, we'll go to the main topic tonight will be what's happening in the House legislature, the election of the speaker, who was elected and why he was elected. What do you think will happen after the election? Will Liberia settle down? So there are a lot of issues. If you have to share with us, please call us up or you can drop your comment in the comment box. Paul, Let's have a commercial break. Then we'll go straight into our newspapers.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace, Hems vocal, Liberian number one vocal, Liberian number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hems Vodka, Hems Honey, Hems Bitter, and Hems Original Vodka. Hems Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink, Mama happy. Hems Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hems Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000-979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hems Vodka or www.hensvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hems North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hems Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hems Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy and my blood, every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it, we husband. Hems Vodka, that number one, oh, from Liberia all around, in supermarket store and everywhere, Hems Vodka, that number one, oh.
Once again, thank you very much for joining us again. This is the Born in Liberia. Jamal is my name, Jamal Kamara, based in Manchester. We'll go straight to what we got for you tonight. So now we're going to start with, we've been looking at a newspaper that made headlines in Liberia. We've got too many newspapers there. Like, we just pick out the most important one and we'll look into from our end. My colleague always said, Linfo says always, you may have read a newspaper, but we bring them back to you, think how we look at it and why we see it and how we make our own decisions on it. This is why you always say, and I like to quote him. So this is all going to remind you again. You may have read these articles, but we see it different. Probably you have seen it different. So we want you to also join us to discuss the articles tonight. So Paul, what we got tonight, the first article on the show on the to talk about tonight. What do we have, boss?
So this is what we have tonight on the show. Take us through this. This is about the war crime that was promised to Liberians. And for some reason, after the death of Prince Johnson, everything went quiet. So there was a survey carried out in Liberia. And interestingly, a lot of people are still interested in the war and economic crime could be established in Liberia. So Jamal, you read this story. Take us through for our audience.
Yeah, they said that three quarters of Liberians have approved. They bring it in of the Economic War Crime Code to Liberia. So it's something that the government of Liberia have committed themselves to it. The Unity Party-led government under Mr. President Joseph Boakai has agreed that they should set up the code. The code has been set up. The process is still going on. It could be economical. It could be a capital intensive. But the code, Liberians are trying to understand and agree that this thing should settle down for all. But we want to see what people think about it. So in tonight's studio, we'll be asking. Well, first give our chance to Mr. Dollar, who has been in the police force. He was in Liberia during the crisis up to the time. You know what happened in our country, and what do you think about this? Should Liberians really put this thing to rest? Forget about this War Economic Crime Code and move on with our lives, and let's forgive each other and move on. Or should we bring those to justice as recommended by the TRC in Liberia? Mr. Dollar, what do you think? This is a newspaper survey report that three quarters of Liberians have approved that the government should go on with the Liberians should go on with the Economic War Crime Code. Those who committed these crimes should be to book. What do you think about this?
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go on, sir. We hear you loud and clear.
Oh, wonderful. Basically, it's necessary to carry on war crime code. That will show us as a deterrent to the other people that have an evil mind, creating problem for the country. You know, if we will keep on dragging our feet on this thing here, and people will never learn lessons. One of the examples is just quite recently how people be dishing up our money to share it among themselves at the House of Representatives. All these things there are economic crime. So if the government is really, really serious, I think it's necessary to establish economic and work crime code. The media need to face some law. That's the best way forward. So at least the other people will hear that story and this, in disease from having such an issue in mind. I should put it that you should go on and we should not leave the economic crime code out, and we should also deal with it uh, decisively.
Right. Yeah, if you just join or if you see on the screen, there's somebody standing with a mask on the face. The masks on the face are those are these the fighters in Liberia used to dress. So these guys themselves with these masks on it. So it's a mask on his face. It's we call it a rebel in Liberia. Whoever it is could be rebel, could be government soldier, but we don't know who the picture is. We also get complimented newspaper that brought the story up. In the meantime, I will ask my colleague, Linford, 3/4 of Liberians, where the situation went through, it's not much, is it? What do you see that 3/4 Liberians have approved? So is that a much? It's not that much, is it, compared to the number we have and the level of situation went through, as Mr. Dollar puts it? What do you think? Are we dragging our feet yet to this court settlement or establishment?
Well, I think the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court, in my view, is overdue. It should have happened a long time ago. I remember the old people say the best time to beat the rod is when it is red. You know, those of us who know about blacksmithing, when the blacksmith puts a rod in a fire and it gets red, I think it becomes malleable, meaning it can be formed, it can be shaped in any form. So that's the best time to lift it out and beat it. So immediately the Truth and Reconciliation Committee or Commission did their work and they gave the recommendations. I think that was a time when President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came to power. I think that was our government that was supposed to set this whole thing in motion. But again, for some reason, they dragged the process. Of course, from most analysts, people say it was understood that President Sirleaf would not have, established War and Economic Crimes Code. She being one of the, in fact, the first financier publicly known to the Liberian people. She couldn't have shot herself in the leg. People just suspect that that's one of the reasons why it was dragged along. And then other governments came like we are, and then we didn't hear anything about it. and and one of the reasons was that the late Senator Johnson had influence over almost most of all the past two governments to this one. The fact that he influenced the voting process, so I think people wanted to just drag it until a certain time. So when President Bouaka came to power, in fact, before he came to power, that was one of the promises that he made to the Liberian people, and he even hosted Alan White, and we all played this thing here. I think we still got a video from Alan White where he said he met with President Bouaka and they agreed to establish a War and Economic Crimes Code. And true to that, the president, upon taking office, he set up a commission to carry out the work. The status of the commission, I don't know right now. I don't know whether they stay active or they are dissolved or they're just dormant. And like you earlier on mentioned, Chima, that after the death of Senator Johnson, the momentum for the War and Economic Crimes Code died down somehow. I mean, it didn't totally died, but it slowed down, and it seems to validate the allegation that former Senator Johnson always made, that it's like the war crimes, the war economic crimes, especially war crimes, was aimed at him, because on several occasions we heard him crying that people when the people see him, they will shout war and economic crimes could come in. So after he died and everything went quiet, you know, it seems as though that validates what he used to say, that it was only geared towards him. But that Liberians are now, saying that they want this thing. 3/4 of Liberians are saying that they want the war in economic crimes. So I think that will help to solve this long term, confusion. Uh, we see we see President Taylor is in jail for war crimes or for crimes allegedly committed in Sierra Leone, not for Liberia, where he fought, where he had a group, and Senator Johnson, who had the second largest group, is dead. Uh, Thomas Yaya Nimler is still around. George Bully had a group, he's dead. No, he's still around. It was Roosevelt Johnson who had a group, and he's dead. So these guys are dying one by one. And if we further waste time with this thing, we will end up having nobody to go. Probably they will end up, probably, I don't know what to do. They might end up running off some of the smaller guys or in a war to carry them, because the big guys are going. Taylor is in jail, Roosevelt Johnson is there, George Bush is around there, and Thomas Newman is there. So I think they should hurry up with this thing. Prince Johnson was with us yesterday, and then he's no more, so nobody knows what will happen. So I think it's about time that if Liberians one day, and this is the sticky part, people, the leaders, the president will always say, if the people want it, but they, the leaders, do not want to, put their feet down and say, I am going to do it. They want the people to say yes. I've not heard any government that will say, okay, let's have a referendum. Let's find a view of the people, whether they want it. But they will say, okay, we leave it with the people if the people want it. Yeah, the people want it, but they do not have power to do it. So at least this government took a step. Let me give it to them. They established a commission. And so we hope that with the cries from the Liberian people now, we hope the government will speed the process up.
Thank you very much. A good analysis, Paul. You've been one of those guys who've been advocating for this war economic crime code. I know it's something that we all talking about, how to address the historical human rights abuses and the war economic crimes in the country. But now you were one of those very known for saying that you would drink your Jack Daniel if this war economic crime code is established. I think my colleague Linford just mentioned that since the death of Prince Johnson, he was the big fish. He was the big fish in the whole thing. Some people seem not to even think about it. There's something like economic war crime code. It's not going to happen anymore. Or let's happen. He was the big fish, and since he's late now, the case is over. And you just mentioned Linford that a lot of other people, apart from no big names, other people might be there that have been allegedly involved in these crimes and need to be brought to book. So, Paul, you still think you're not so excited anymore. Tell where do you stand right now? Because you want this guy to say, look, I got my Jack Daniel here. I will drink it. I'll open my Jack Daniel and drink it if this World Economic Crime Code is established. We don't hear much from you anymore. Do you think it's going to go ahead with 3/4 of Liberian approving this establishment of the court? Doesn't seem to be a good, is that enthusiastic figure so far concerning the situation in Liberia? I mean, what we went through.
Yeah, Jamal, thank you. And thanks to our viewer too for following us. And the issue with the World Economic Crime Code, I mean, we all advocated that it should happen. If 3/4 of the population still want it, I think the government should go ahead and do it. But the sticky bit here, if you remove war, if you remove economy from there, the code will be established. But that economy and war, because the people in government in Liberia, they are all thieves. In simple Liberia English, they are roles. So you cannot bring crown upon yourself. So that means it will not happen. The survey is good, but the people will not establish that code. They will drag on until all of those perpetrators disappear from the planet Earth. If you remove economy from there, today the code will be established because they are all roles. So the economic bit of it will make it harder for that code to be established. And this is the point. So the enthusiasm that I had when Brecker came to power, when he had a meeting with Adding Way, all that it was going to happen in a hurry, and then later on, the tune changed. They started bringing a commission that will go investigate, that will do this. That means the delayed 30 is not going to happen, my brother, because all of them hand in the cookie jar. How can you bring yourself to persecution? It's not going to happen. So to those people in Liberia, I'm sorry, it will never happen. It will be on, we hear it here, it will be economic, it will not happen until by accident we have somebody that is neutral become leader of that country before it happens. But with the level which we're going, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's good. So this is not only about those who committed the war crimes, it's about the economic crime as well. Those who've been
Yes.
how do you say, what do you say that, like hijacking or taking our money and industrialized, quite industrialized criminals in the country. So with those things, people in power, they are hanging, they always say cookie jar, they won't let it happen. So this is what you're thinking, or what you're saying.
Yeah, they're stealing the country resources. So you are stealing, you cannot bring crime upon yourself. So it is what it is. I gave you classic example. Before the government took over, they took $40 million, a road fund, something they wanted to do. And money disappeared. They said they will investigate. Up to now, there haven't been investigation. So if we establish the economic crime code to that, guess what's going to happen? It will pull a lot of them. They're not going to do it. Let's be honest with ourselves. These guys not going to bring economic crime code on themselves. That's not going to happen. So it is what it is. Liberian just have to accept it, live with it, and that's it.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. We had it. We're going to go to what's the next on the from the newspaper in Liberia today, apart from what we got right now. We'll have something.
The next one, because to our viewers, what end with Rachel Kuhn on the newspaper review, because that is where the bone on the meat is. Something that happened with that will be the topic. So share the show, because we're going to look at it from a different perspective. So why is it Liberia we're connected? Why is it Liberia not moving forward? Now the next on the agenda is the thing with the commercial vehicles.
Right. This is a commercial drivers stage go slow protest over police harassment, excessive ticketing. They're stopping them, giving a ticket, taking money from them, harassing them, so they'll go slow. They're not going to go anywhere. The Liberian drivers, that's why commercial drivers, that's why the transport drivers. Mr. Dollar, I want to take this on you. You are a police officer. That's accusation. How we address this? Because I know before I go to my colleagues, I'll make you the last. I'll go back to Linford. You are in Liberia. This is very common. Sometimes you're in a car, police will stop the car. This guy literally has done nothing, block the car, raise his hand up, go to the driver and put your hand into the car, and this guy will pass on to you, and they move on. It's a common thing in Liberia everywhere. Did you see that? It still goes on. It goes on now every day. So the police, the drivers are saying they are tired with these things. They're tired harassing them. Even they are not doing anything. If you done something wrong, you still ask you what's your paper. You give the paper to them, the card papers. I don't know what to then do. Look at it. Oh, they don't even read. Sometimes turn the paper upside down. I've seen a guy will turn a police officer turn the paper upside down. I said, my man, okay, I've seen. I kept the paper and they got driving license. At the end of the day, he said, what you got? Put your hand to where the driver sits. Put your hand there. Something went to his hand. I don't know what was exchanged. So he went out. He let him go. After blocking the car, raised his hands two in the middle of the road. I'm not saying police are not stopping the cars from committing crimes or for traffic offenses, but this is very common. Let's speak on this. Before I go to Mr. Dollar, who is also experienced over 3 decades in the police force. He may not have been a traffic police officer, but he's very knowledgeable about this police science and stuff like that. We're telling in Liberian police, we'll tell what really is happening with the police. What are they into this? But let me take to my colleague first. Linford, you born and raised you know what I'm talking about. Tell me what
all
is
around the world, people who are in the traffic, Liberia is most common with taxi drivers and the police. But all around the world, police and people who are in the traffic are always a loggerhead.
Okay.
Sometimes, you cannot win. Like somebody once made a joke. They said even if you bought a new brand car with plastic stay on it, and the policeman arrest you, they will find something to charge against you. You will say you're driving a new brand car that that is not yet used. You will find something that thing.
You say get it made 100, get it made 100 LD and go away, man. Let me get 100 LD.
So there is no way that it's like if the deer meets the lion in the forest, there's no way. Lion, you either run for your life or you become the next dinner. So the police and the traffic people in the traffic are always a loggerhead, especially in a country like Liberia. And it's not only Liberia. Most third world countries. I've been to a few countries in Asia, and sometimes when I see the police and the taxi drivers, especially taxi drivers, doing this thing, I can imagine Liberia. And that the taxi drivers are saying they will go slow. I think that's a very serious thing. If they really mean it that they will go slow, it's a very serious thing. And why do I say that? Right now, we know the transportation system in Liberia is very bad. Not many cars, and this is why, in fact, they got the keke and the how you call it, the motorcycles. Okay, to complement the transportation system. So if the few cars compare the ratio of few cars to the people, if the few cars decide that they are not going out for maybe a few hours, it will kind of cripple the economy somehow. Because remember that these taxi drivers, they burn gas and diesel, and they go to the pump to buy, or they go on the sidewalk to buy. And when they buy, some money come from there, it go to the government. I think something called road funds. And the gas station owners also pay taxes. And these taxi people, they pay. It's a chain. It's rotating. So if you remove one joint of the chain, you'll find out that it will affect the rest of it. No matter how it stays functional, but the functionality will not be perfect. So I think it's concerning, and the relevant authorities must address it. And there is just no way that you can free the police from the traffic people. Number one, these people are not they are underpaid, so they will always look for a small thing to carry home. And where they can get it from very fast is from the taxi drivers. Okay, and so like I said, even if the taxi do bad thing, but the man been standing to that one spot, the policeman been standing to that one spot for a couple of hours and nothing in pocket. So you look at one taxi coming, he says, I'll stop it there. And then so the taxi drivers too, sometimes they try to comply, but then it becomes tough. The taxi driver too, you got to repair a car, all these things. So it's a difficult thing to say, I don't know why is this thing so popular with third world countries. Okay, where you see a lot of police in the street, just going to the car. Here you don't see that. You hardly see the police. I mean, last Saturday, no, it was the Saturday before. I went to a Liberian party. Coming by, I got ticket. And how did I get it? I came by 1 o'clock, 1:13 in the morning. There's a traffic light. I mean, there's a photo box standing here, and the next one is there, but the two are connected. So between there, it's 70 to enter the photo box, but when you pass there, you should drive 80 until you reach to the next one. But I exceeded at 80 because they were late in the day. I was taking advantage. I exceeded at 80. So when I reached to that one, it broke me. You see it? You don't see the police there, but they got somebody doing the work, something doing the work. So, it's very difficult to judge a case between the police and the people in the traffic. So I think the relevant authorities should address it, fortunately, or else
Paul,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, good. Paul, I think when you were in high school, you used to be one of those drivers. You should be hustling to get some things go for yourself. You encounter police a lot, and there are kind of reasons why that. Police may have the right compared to what a low pay and other things. We'll go to Mr. Dollar. There are 4 key things. Mr. Dollar will ask Mr. Dollar to comment on. Could you somebody silence the phone, please? They're in the background. Thank you. There's police police may have the right to do that. Maybe a right, what they call it, right, because of low wages or low salaries. And you also want those guys that may have during a day you were in high schools or a university used to drive around. I know you want those experienced guys who tell us what your experience, what could be the problem. This is to a level where the driver say, enough is enough. We can't drive anymore. They're taking too much money from us, and we want to stop. They're harassing us. What do you think is the way around it? Tell your experience and think what's the way out.
The first topic we had, it was about water economic crimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with the police, we know because of the economic crime at the higher levels, the police, is trickle down effect on the police. What do I mean? You have the guys they call the so-called lawmakers. They make the law, they make the big money among themselves. The guy who implemented the law, he get nothing. So what he does, he go behind the common driver to survive. This is the situation in the country. Right. So police people always come up. So if you been in the police before or you intend to join the police, what people want to go to the police to be a traffic police officer because that's where you'll be able to get something for survival. If you had a situation where the country you have equal that's not equal pay, but living wage for everyone, the police will not do what they're doing. And this is a situation that the police face with, and the motorists also face with it. Some of those vehicles are not supposed to be on the road, and the police know that, and the owner of the vehicle also know that the vehicle not fit to be on the street. But everyone is hustling. So because the police knows that, the police always go after them. But if you have living wage, the police will not do that. That means if they go behind driver, your job gone. So this is a situation. So it's at the top. And until that top, trickle down to everyone that have good pay, then these things will not happen. So it's all over Africa. Country like Nigeria, if you travel to Nigeria, driving in Western Liberia. So it's something in Africa that everyone have to go through. I travel from Ghana to Lagos. Along that road driving, my brother, every checkpoint you have to give something. It's common in Africa, especially West Africa. So this situation in Liberia, Padori being the police, but this is where the police officer build their houses from these motorists. If you don't get something, your child won't go to school, you won't eat. So it's they have to live with it. I'm the house here until the police start getting living wage.
So you're talking about extremely low police salary that don't meet basic living expenses, which create economic pressure to implement their income. So definitely they have to survive, and the government knows that, and the government ain't bother to even pressure them, so they don't pay them good money. And I also understand that it's inadequate institutional oversight, weak accountability. Police don't care. The top don't care. Once those guys are also robbing those guys on the streets, stopping them for no reason. There are genuine reasons police stop them. Don't get us wrong here. Police got genuine reason to stop commercial vehicles, but for something that at some point go to the extreme level that where they take bribe for them. But then we'll ask Mr. Dollar, there are four alleged accusation, 4 reasons why people think that the police are doing. Before we'll ask Mr. Dollar. Mr. Dollar, he said sorry, you're not a police spokesperson here. We want to tap on your experience as ex-police officer.
And Jamal, sorry, we got 2 former police officers on the program also. So for instance, another police officer.
Leave Mr. Mensah this time. He's been helping out with these things. So Mr. Dollar is here. We're asking, but you also have a right to comment on it. Mr. Dollar, who also he's over 3 decades in the police force, and I think you know about traffic a lot. And the concern here about the commercial drivers is about arbitrary stops. I just want to name them. You guys literally just stop them. Police stop them for no reason, and inspect them and take their on the level of soliciting bribe from them, and they take fees from them for no reason. They confiscate or seize their certificate, their license, and their papers, and they try to impound their cards if you don't give them something. It's very common. You think this? So these concern from the commercial driver, are they genuine reason? Are they genuine acquisitions, or are these something like that? This is not true. There's something making up. And I can see my colleague said that, look, because the government is not paying them well, they have the right to do that, to live their life, or else they won't survive. Tell them, what's really the problem?
Yeah, thank you very much, Jimmy, for coming out with this statement. I think we should not use this as a song. Everybody should sing it. The problem of Africa is economic problem. The people that are supposed to get good salary, they have been left out, more especially the law enforcement. You see, let me give you a latest example on Ivory Coast. When I was in the police for 30 years ago, working at the Ministry of Justice, sometimes we need to go to Ivory Coast and a neighboring country to see how the police work there, and also because the placing fall directly under Ministry of Justice. So we used to also visit Vira prison to see how the people keep the image in corruption areas. So Ivory Coast, what Ivory Coast did to control this security harassment is this. Ivory Coast provides serious incentive for the law enforcement. He looked at 4 kinds of law enforcers and gave them incentive: the gendarmerie, the police, the soldier, the custom. These people were having free housing, medicals allowance. They used to go to hospital for free. They have certain number of their family member to go to hospital for free. When they go to a supermarket to buy anything, they got 10% discount. All these things that were happening in Ivory Coast. So it was difficult to see police officers on the street harassing or commercial driver. When you see the police put the checkpoint anywhere, there's a serious network operational on hand in Ivory Coast. But now the case in Liberia. When I was a director at the National Port Authorities, chief investigator, we had a joint security meeting with the former Justice Minister, Goreska, and she came up with the same problem. He said the immigration, the police, and the custom, they are harassing the peoples here and there in reserves. And I come out, I said to her that, did you pay them good money? This is the family man who have 3 to 4 children, need to go to school. You're not paying their school fee. You're not paying for the man rent. You're not paying the man way to come to work. How do you expect the man to work professionally? All the things that he will go to National Police Academy and learn, he will just put it in a book and put it in the bag. Because if you say he will exercise that, you're not going to survive. So obviously, what we need to focus on is this. Those are responsible for the betterment of our country is the law maker. We need to get at them before you get at the policemen and policemen getting at the taxi drivers. Let's get at these people to do the right thing, to come out with good law that will protect every citizen. Because if they give good salaries to the police and give them incentives, like what immigration, like what custom, and here and there, the corruption system will diminish. So obviously, I was in the police force. I spent nearly 30 years in the law enforcement. I started as a patrolman to the rank of inspector. I was a one-time director at the National Port Authority, also Minister of Finance, anti-fraud director. But here's the situation. So long we don't control these things, then we will always have problems. Who do you expect the policeman to go and get his shoe money from? I did it before. I must admit, when I was patrolman, my girlfriend came to me during the weekend. I told her, I said, wait for me, I'm coming. I went straight on the bypass and pick up 1 or 2 taxi drivers in back. You understand what I'm saying?
You harassed them. You harassed them. Took money from
True
them.
confession.
Yeah, no, so to be realistic, there's no way that these guys
We hear from Francis.
there's no way these guys then can easily survive over this year. Look at the salary the people getting. Eh? Can you imagine that? Look at the salary they're getting. They're not getting anything. When I told Goreska said, "Oh, Dollar, you're trying to insult the people, and that is the incitement, and blah, blah, blah." I said, "Well, Madam Minister, you can do whatever you want to do, but that's a reality." And at last, she called me and apologized. She said, "Yeah, you're right." So this is the situation. Police people, I don't have no solution for them. The solution is let the law maker then make some provision for them. Let them, because they even the inspector there in the office and think that they are more corona than even the man on the street. Because I serve in all the capacity, from patrolman to the inspector, director. I know that's the only way we can survive. So it's very ridiculous. Now, Liberia, it's happening in Guinea. Guinea is rampant.
Yeah, but Mr. Dolly, can I just intercept you and ask you one question? No.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, because practically we here, like Jima, Paul and myself, we are not being in the police, unlike you and Francis. But so, when we see the police, we see them from different perspectives, from different view. Now, but you just said that even the inspectors in the office, they are corrupt. Because for me, the most corrupt policemen that I know, because they have done it to me before, is the one in the street, the traffic app. So how do the inspectors do their own? Because they're not out there to take money from people. So how do they do their own?
Yeah, when a case appeared before them, honestly, when a case appeared before them, they asked them, you know how they correct? They say in keeping with. So where is the in keeping with?
What is that?
That's a term.
That's the jargon. The police jargon.
Term, in keeping with. So
what is the in keeping with? Okay.
Where is the in keeping with? You see, look, and one of the things that to be realistic, even this guy who they just made his senator for Nima County, you want work under me. Koga,
who's that?
Who is that? Notorious field investigator from the NSC.
Oh, which are you talking
Samuel
about?
Koga?
Samuel Koga.
He was in the police force?
You were in his NSA. From police, he went to NSA. You understand? Very notorious.
Mr. Dolly, I hope you're not making that public statement. Mr. Dolly, you have to be, listen, we want to hold you there. This is something like, let's go straight to the issue here.
So the issue here is, leave the children on the street, get to the mean people. When the mean people know that this is serious, because the taxi driver, what they're doing is a real thing. Let them strike. When they strike, the people will know that something happened. And the people will look into the matter.
Okay.
That's what I can say.
Thank you. Francis, I know you, if you care to comment on. Okay, go on.
Jamal, before Francis come in, I just want to share a story because Linford asked Dolly about just recently while in Liberia at 72nd Junction there, Boulevard Junction.
Yeah.
Where you get TB at that junction.
Yeah.
Total gas station used to be over there. Right underneath Total, somebody have a Kobo shop right there. And then what happened in the evening? In the evening, all the police officers from the street will go at that Kobo shop. I mean, when they take all the money out, they have to put something aside for the traffic director, because if you don't report to the traffic director, he will change your assignment. So the traffic director himself is in it. So just want to add that one so the traffic director, because he said it now, he's not on the field, but you have to report to him every day. So Francis, maybe you know about your police.
Francis, I know Francis, I know
yes,
we are alluding to the fact that the situation like Liberia where national, we salute them for being on our street every night, make sure law and orders are in place. And we were not taking on them because what the commercial drivers are saying. We want to really applaud them for what they're doing for our country. doing the thick of thing, and that's what I appreciate first. And second, we also know that the extremely low salary that they don't meet up with their basic living conditions, and which create an economic pressure on them. So do you agree this is what leading to most of those things that happen, the harassment, corruption in the police force, as well as in other areas? Because that's what my colleagues are saying right here.
Yeah. No, I mean, you guys are, first of all, I have to say, thanks to you guys for, holding the fort, carrying the show on. Look, and welcome, Mr. Morris Dolly. At first, I saw the name. I thought was the guy who was the musician, but no, but it's not.
There's a reincarnation.
Yeah, But anyway, no, I was in the police from 94 to 98, and I left, and I was in the task force and stuff. But when I graduated from the academy, well, just randomly because of the body size and stuff, to put me into the operations department. I actually want to go to the CID, Yeah, but no, at the time I was in the police, our salary was like $120 Liberian. So they brought it from pre-war salary, they brought it up to the 90, and couldn't do anything. You didn't have it. We did not even get it on time. But what was the inspector was saying now we're talking police turned part. He's a senior officer. I will addressing as inspector. Look, we have a couple of, I don't want to call the names, but look, the whole system is actually corrupt because of the low economic, the salary, and besides that, the lifestyle of these officers, they are forced to do what they do because of their lifestyle too. Imagine a young man like me when I was young in the police. I needed, Fridays my friends were going to hang out, but you didn't have money, so you probably, if you're not a man that was morally upright, if you're not you'll be doing something. You'll be creating cases on people. But luckily for me, I had friends and family and relatives in the States that was probably they're supporting me. But again, look, when the police stopped, I had an experience. Most times I'm in the car at the time I'm in the police, and as a passenger, when the police stopped the operator, the taxi driver for a just cause, they approach. What make the man she made him angry too? You know that? Because some of the drivers if there's some infraction on, carrying two persons in this front and doing some other things, and the police stopped them. When they address the police, the police mad too. So the police, but it's rampant that the police is going. We all know that you guys have said it all year that the primary reason for the police actions is based on the income and economic situation. I cannot say more about that because the police themselves, the higher ups, they themselves look. I know we had a commander. He was a senior inspector. He was the commander for our unit, the RRU at the time, Rapid Response Unit, and then he became senior inspector. Look, that guy was so bad. If they gave us some, they got an operation and gave you money. The guy would take. If a police officer should get, if probably the president Taylor or whoever or Sawyer gave you some money, say for the operation, everybody should be getting $50 or so. That guy would give you $10, $5. He said I want for his wife and his children. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. It's not something to make. It's not something to make fun of. It's a serious issue. So serious.
Yeah, it's so seriously. The security apparatus need some upliftment in terms of the salary and some benefits. That will help the cocktail. But another factor again, our lifestyle. You got 2-3 girlfriends. You gotta go junior buy a coat every day after work. So I mean, these are reasons why you have to harass people to meet up their lifestyle.
So quickly, so we do agree here that the situation in Liberia, the couldn't be to do was the police compensation to significantly increase salary to reduce financial pressure that will not go to corruption. It's for that pressure for corruption, financial corruption. So do you also agree that those police, if they are, let's agree that they improve the system? Mr. Dollar just mentioned that in Ivory Coast, they got all the police there. Security apparatus are there. They are being well looked after.
Look, bro.
Go on.
I mean, I live Ivory Coast during the war. My brother, if you drive my Danane to Abidjan, the checkpoints, even at Jamaica Market, even in the broad daylight at Jamaica Market, the guys are there harassing people with all the benefits they got. Because we African, our lifestyle. You got your girlfriend here. You got the other child outside there. You got to go drink beer. You got to do this. So, I mean, these are reasons.
Francis,
let me reason for
you
to get involved, indulge in corruption.
Yeah, Francis, let me not cut you up. The late Ofobanye introduced this system. Abigo security apparatus became rampant when they start having the political problem in their country. When they start having the political problem, they were not giving the incentives what they would deserve to have. So obviously they have to get the time. I'm telling you, it was a normal day. You understand what I'm saying? It was normal day. We need to visit various West African states to know how the security apparatus perform there.
Right.
Ivory Coast were one of the best. Even Ghana were worse.
I think let me just share a little experience.
That's what I know of. But during the wartime, when the Ivorians get into political crisis, everything turned upside down.
But let me just share a little experience with what Francis is saying. And my experience was right to the border, Elebu, right? I think that's the name, Elebu, between Ghana and
Ghana, yeah.
Yeah. 1994. We have traveled by road from Liberia all the way to Nigeria, and like Paul was saying, between Togo, Nigeria, Benin, and Nigeria, that's a hell of a place to travel. The guys we can't standing looking at you. Okay, they're not even police people, they're corrupt people. They're standing looking at you, talking to the other guy on the gate. By the time you finish with that, I see man who was standing by you, go put him on the gate. From there, you go to the next guy. Yeah, they started to see how much you get a guy. By the time you finish with them, they go put down on the gate. So, and then we have come from my boy and myself. He was a DJ on the radio. At the time we were in Toyota, so he was interested in cassette. So we traveled to Nigeria, and on our way back, we bought some cassettes from Nigeria and some from Ghana. Because in 94, man, where we get Google music there from Liberia. So that was an opportunity for us to buy music. So we had this whole small box full of cassettes. When we got to Elebu, we finished traveling all the way. We thinking now we're coming back home. We got to Elebu. No guys, no police guarding at that checkpoint. They harassed us. Why? It said that we didn't buy the music from Ivory Coast. We had to go buy it from Nigeria and Ghana. And all the thing they talking, the kind of music they want, they didn't get in Ivory Coast. Man, we tussle to a point where my friend, the guy got frustrated. He took a whole police desk. He took a whole desk and 10 hours and on that big, we were only two. I said, big confusion where the police commander in how to come and quiet us down. The guy told me, I charge to the rebel, they had them in the get big until the police commander. So, this thing about police is, like I said, it's worldwide. It's just that in a Western world, they are afraid, number one, they are afraid that they will lose their job. But in Liberia, the policemen can be. Today said there was a police guy whose picture I saw trending on Facebook. He allegedly beat a pregnant woman and killed her, and she beat her to death, allegedly. So here, if it happens in the Western world, they're going to pursue the case. But in Liberia, policemen, if you ever we saw on the show here, we show a policeman land over the hood of the car. They tested the man driving with him. Okay, simply because the taxi driver refused to give him something, so he landed over the hood of the car. You know, those kind of things don't happen here. But police and traffic people, like I said before, they always at each other's throat. And so the main victims there will always be the traffic man. So and it was good that Pa Dory made a true confession here. Not that the policeman wants to do it, but sometimes the condition, and we are not also backing that. So, like I said before, I recommended that our authorities, people who are in power, should find a way around. But again, what is the guarantee that even if you pay the policemen who are learned to get free money from taxi driver all the time, extra money, like Francis just mentioned, the man get girlfriend and they gotta go chill after you had this work with a friend and so on a boot. Okay, so that's extra money. Even if you're making $500, that little thing he can get from the taxi driver, that extra money. So what guarantee are there that even if you pay the guy $1,000, $2,000-$3,000 or police patrolman, $2,000-$3,000 US, that he will not go and stay and harass a policeman because it's part of them. That's something that they used to getting extra money. Now I will just share a short story, or let's say my experience as a journalist. Okay. In Liberia, we had this thing called Kato. Okay, so every time you go to cover some story, and because the person wants you to, carry a story fast or let make it with hella, the man might give small gratuity. So Liberian people got used to it. Liberian journalists got used to it, and even the minister then too got used to it because they know if you don't do something will not happen. You know what I mean? So we used to have cross in our newsroom where if this minister didn't do well, your story will be crucified. We'll put your story on the cross, we'll hang you on that cross, forget it. You're not coming, maybe in the major news, it will come way down.
That's
so,
good too.
Yeah, people get used to this kind of thing and normal lives, but it's not right.
Yeah, no, Ramford, let me tell you one of the best ways from my experience to stop this kind of thing. You give someone $1,000 for a salary, that is not the best solution. From my view, that's my personal view. The only thing that will make the law enforcer or any government official to be afraid to carry on the wrong thing, if this person know that he got certain incentive from the work that he's doing, and when he mess about, they take that job from him. He might not get similar job like that to get such an incentive. You will be very careful. Okay. You got your free house. Right. You got free medication. You did sending 3 of your children to any best school. The government paying their school fee. They're giving you your salary on time. When you go out, they got certain scratch card for you that you can use to feed yourself. All these incentives, what is available? The huge amount of money that they're giving to the law enforcement, the lawmakers, they need to cut it down to look into this law enforcement on the ground. So when they get the incentive, they know fully well that they will be very, very careful how to do any harassment. But if you get
okay, Padre, Jimario, can you please? Well, Padre, I asked this question. What guarantee do we have that even if we pay this guy who is used to getting?
I'm not talking about that's what I'm saying.
The reason I'm asking that question is you got lawmakers who are making almost allegedly making $13,000, $14,000, $15,000, getting car 2 times in 6 years and 3 times in 9 years, but they still do corruption. So what about a poor guy who is just getting $200, $300? What guarantee do we have that even if he gave him free horse and everything? I think this corruption is inherent.
Listen, Yeah, listen to me. We're not arguing among ourselves here, but we're trying to share idea. The lawmaker that you're talking about, we made them lawmaker, and we gave them the leverage to misbehave. If we take situation serious, any lawmakers involving corruption that we got evidence to substantiate, and we have a right to petition that lawmaker to be impeached. We look for signature to impeach. Are we doing it? No. If we do it to 2-3 lawmakers in a year time, they will behave. If you gave the government official this incentive, and you have a corruption officers, anti-corruption officers on the tail of these people on a daily basis to check whether they did anything wrong. Sooner is proven beyond reasonable doubt, right away he leave the job. If that incentive you used to have, he gone. You do it to 3, 4, 5 senior officer or law enforcement officer is knowing publicly the other will behave themselves. Simple as that.
Thank you. We've that topic been treated fine. We want to move on. We got major other.
Mr. Kamara, I just want to bring one small story too. There's an in Man City here, Manchester, United Kingdom, in Manchester. There's a Pakistani police officer. You know, they give them a card, debit card. They can go to any supermarket.
Oh, it's like bank card to
spend. Bank card. That's what I'm saying. Okay. They can go to any supermarket and things there and buy food for themselves when they are on operation. You know what the guy did? The food that he going to feed his family with, he went and buy with that card, and he registered straight away in a debit card. What happened? They fired him straight away. So these are some of the things we're talking about.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we treated that topic very well. Mr. Dolly and Francis, thank you for your input. We agree here that our police officers, even now only that the teachers themselves, the other people, I mean, the same thing goes to the teachers. We are in the classrooms, they've been asking for the pamphlet money, you know, all those paper, I don't know how you call them. I need Langford will tell us more about that. They don't what he's been one time. He grew up.
Even the journalist.
No. Langford was a career. Langford was a career teacher before he became a journalist. So he knows, like, it goes to the teacher as well. Because of the extreme low salary they have, they go about, sex for grades, money for grades is very common also in the classroom, not only the police. It's very common. So we're all talking about here, what we have come to understand that is that the extremely low salary for those public service, our civil servants like police and the teachers and the rest of the people too down there. So we hope the government can do something for them so they can put pressure on them into corruption. So we hope this will stop. But a system have to come from the top, gentlemen. Because if the top is not doing well, like a person is driving $1 million worth of one car. I mean, come on, man. $1 million worth of car. And let's look at it. You still have to set an example coming down to other people. Those are things that we'll be discussing. And the $45,000, I mean, as a representative, you carry not less than, I think it's $45,000 worth of car you be driving. I don't know where's the country, where's the road that you're going to drive that car. But it has to come from the top. We need to set an example before we go down to a poor policeman, a poor teacher that trying to survive because they don't have enough money. We're not glorifying corruption anyway, but we're talking about systems should be well supported so they can able to stop these little bribery and so what happened.
And you know, add to what you're saying, Chiba, I think it also has to do with sincerity. And it's good that you reminded me about my days in the classroom. A young boy, just 20 years old, 19 years old from high school, and then 1982, then 1983, 20 years old, fresh and young, and then I found myself in the classroom. Two things I was exposed to. One was the temptation that my students will offer me money for grade. Two, that I could take advantage of the girls that I was teaching for grade. You see, so and then you gotta be strong in your mind. Because the first thing that came to my mind at the time was, okay, this is my first job. And number two, I didn't know that system where I have to, corrupt money from students to get them grade. When I didn't know about it because it almost didn't happen to me, especially in high school, junior high school, a little bit, because I went to government junior high school, but in high school or private school, so I didn't experience that, so I didn't know. Okay, and then to the point where probably I would have, taken advantage of my students. Okay, so you gotta be strong in your mind. So people are exposed to certain things that will make them to do what they do. The policeman, he knows, okay, I got the authority on the road. When I stand here, I got the authority. So any car come, when I stop it will stop. Okay, and I can take money. So that policeman got to be strong in the mind and say, look, listen, what I'm doing is wrong. Okay, so sincerity also counts. And that's why I still believe, and I'm still doubtful that even if you pay this guy $1 million, if the guy is a thief, if the guy is a rogue, he will steal. Okay, and that we can see it from the top government officials. And then we're talking about poor policemen here today. And it just happened to be that, the policemen thinking in. But what about the top guys? Yeah. People who play with the budget, the money for the country, and they stay corrupting. These are people who make 100 times what the policeman makes. Okay, but again, like I said, it has to do with your own morality. It has to do with your own conscience to say, well, what I'm about to do is wrong. This poor taxi driver, the same way you a policeman catching hard time, that taxi driver catching hard time driving for somebody causing him, passengers causing him, so that he can hardly get passengers, and then he still get a little thing that he too supposed to care to his family. But again, we just need to find the solution to it, and that lies with the authorities.
Yeah, don't go away. Well, thank you very much for that comment, Linford. We will bring you what's really the bigger news in Liberia right now. There was an election in the House of Legislation. For the past 7 months, we've been having issue with fighting over the seat of the top job in the House of Legislation, Speaker position. There was an election today. We'll tell you the result and who won and what next to that. But in the meantime, we got another newspaper article to look into. This one, gentlemen. This is the one, if you just join you Liberian news, stop embalmment activities, Noah's body. This is a brother that died. I think you know the story, guys. He works in the middle. On the left with the microphone is Eugene Nangbe. He used to be the head of the Liberian Maritime Office. Board of head of Maritime, I think before know the name of the office. And what has on the right is the IG, the Inspector General of Liberia. Is also Mr. Coleman, Gregory Coleman. And in the middle is a young man who passed about a week or two ago, and he was working in the office of the former ex-minister of Finance, Mr. Samuel D. Tway. So the issue is he was supposed to be embalmed and buried. He died 2 weeks ago, but the family, I think the brother is saying that he was poisoned. So that's the story. But why this story? Because the question is why you guys bring a lot of stories happening in Liberia. That's happening. This has to do with the man that used Nangbe, the former maritime boss, was accused of he was involved in. He was allegedly part of poisoning this man to death. And he said before they embalm the body, they should put into. They should investigate, do autopsy on this body. So that was order from the police that they should do autopsy. They stopped the funeral home not to do any embalmment for burial. They should leave him until they can do the investigation. So why the story is here? Because names involved. In journalism, names matter. Eugene Nangbe, former maritime boss, former minister of finance, Samuel Tua. But then the question is, other people died, the auditors died, other people died, big names were involved. Why there was no investigation? So the question goes to everyone.
That before I leave quickly, let me just look. As a matter of routine and protocol, when somebody died in the house, it's incumbent upon the police to conduct an investigation. Before is unlike the hospital where the person died in the hospital and the doctor there, will verify or validate the death. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was died in hospital. But when the person died, the person dies home. The police has to go through it. And this young man, Cletus, who grew up together in Gardensville, who won the same parish. I know his family well. We're all Catholic, so yeah. So I kind of shocked when I saw this headline. I don't know where, but I have not read the story. Because this is a shock to a lot of us.
Yeah.
So but I just wanted to throw that in so we know. I thought it was based. I didn't know it was personally, being connected to the whole story. I thought,
Yeah.
it's a reason why the police has to investigate before they bury. The police have done investigation a long time, but Liberia will always do things in a reverse order. Things you're supposed to do first, we do it last. So it's so unfortunate.
St. Francis, don't you think that because we are not that equipped, it could be a part of the process because we're not equipped to come up with reliable findings. That's why we don't care anymore. They may know it's a policy, it's SOP of the police, but they don't have the equipment. They just have the sound lab. They don't have the equipment. That could not be the reason why they don't want to move forward with these body. Too many deaths take place in Liberia, so police will be overwhelmed with these investigation autopsies before passing on to funeral homes. So, don't you think it could that one of the factors?
But I think that question, in my own way to address it and to give my own opinions on it, is that people tend to politicize everything in Liberia. Like you mentioned earlier on, I lost a very, very, very dear brother. In fact, not a friend or brother. We share rooms together. We share a room together for several months. We work together in the same institution during the wartime. Batten Yeswa, I can say we literally grew up together. Not from childhood time, but in our young boys' age, we grew up together. Okay, like we share room, in fact, bed together. That this gentleman died under mysterious circumstances under the CDC government, and big names came out, and nobody ever made attempt to even examine the body, okay, to give any autopsy report. Up to today, I don't know if they gave it. We had two auditors who died, whose body was found broad daylight on Broad Street in a car with sand allegedly on their body, meaning that there was no sand in the car. They should have come from the beach with sand. And in their honor clothes, and they died. And the government said they died from CO2, carbon dioxide. Okay. Then we had another auditor who was gashed in a taxi on the head, and they said the car made accident. It hit the wall. The glass cut. The whole skull open. And several other deaths, and nothing happened. Nobody stopped the 3 strong, able-bodied gentlemen that were hired by somebody to go to work. 3 gentlemen from the time they left, nobody can trace them until now, and nothing happened. So another lady, Princess Cooper, body was found in somebody's compound with blood oozing from her mouth, and the police did nothing. In fact, the person in whose compound this body was found left the country and went. One girl, a missionary who was supposed to be here to spread the gospel and be a teacher, married this girl under mysterious circumstances and ended up trying to slash the girl through. Motorcyclists seized this girl and apprehended this man. The police took this man. In a few days, we saw the man boarding plane to go to America. Nobody did anything. All of these things. So why the death of this man? And is it because Eugene Nangwe name is concerned? I know Eugene Nangwe, Eugene and I worked together at LCN. LCN was Liberia Communications Network, so we had newspaper, the radio, and the television. Eugene Nangwe was working in a Patriot newspaper. I know Eugene very well. I'm not saying that Eugene is connected or is not connected, but because when I talk about Eugene, people say, oh, simply because you know him. I'm not talking about this case. When I talk about knowing Eugene, it's not connecting this case. But what I'm trying to say is Why is it? Or is it because the names Letue and Eugene Nangwe is involved? Why? Why are we politicizing things? Do other people that die, what happened to them?
Right. A good question. Then, Mr. Dollar, there's a question here from our colleague. Why? Because the IG, Gregory Kumais, ordered to stop the embalming of this young man, and because Eugene said because they said his knee was involved, they said there was a foul play in this guy death. They said he was poisoned. So the story is like this. So, Mr. Dollar, what do you think? Mr. Linford just said a couple of Liberians have died. I mean, whether known or not known, for so mysterious reasons of believed to be too many foul plays. The government has not done anything. The police department did not stop this embalming or the burial of these people, except the only popular case we know, one of the popular cases was this that had to do with Musu Glorious Scott. Apart from that, I don't think there were any other investigations so far, any death in except this one coming up right now. So, what is your take on this? Why this case and others have died and nobody cared to investigate, even despite big names were connected?
I think Mr. Dollar is muted.
Mr. Dollar?
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
muted.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yeah, go on, please.
Wonderful. Let me say something here about this particular case. Then from there, I will go down the line what the brother just stated, Lanford. This man case, this man relatives accused Nangwe. He said that Nangwe involved poisoning this man, according to what we heard. We are not there. And this man used to work with one of these big hair in the Liberian government, the past government.
Yeah, he was in the office of the former finance minister.
Former finance minister. He was an administrative assistant. I worked with Minister of Justice, finance ministry before as director on anti-fraud. I know the position this guy was holding in the finance ministry. I know how sensitive and important he is to the Minister of Finance. So basically, they had a case on the finance minister concerned about economic sabotage and here and there. So I just want to know, if I'm an investigator, if I was the one to investigate this matter, the family come up with this allegation. First of all, I would like to know why we involve Eugene Nangwe into poisoning this man. What kind of connection Eugene Nangwe have with this man? When this man and Eugene Nangwe meet, where they met before, this man got sick, he went to the hospital and died. All this kind of thing, then we need to go into this integrations of the situation to establish that fact. Whether Eugene Nangwe and this man ever sit on one table at any occasion, time, to drink liquor or to eat food or whatever, that need to be established. And also need to establish to know what kind of part this man is playing in the economic sabotage case of the former finance minister, because it's a big face in the Liberian politics today. So all these things, and the police need to look into that. When the allegation comes, I think the police need to look into the matters thoroughly and not to be partial. They need to be flexible and focus on the strategic situation to see how best they can get it back.
Okay. Mr. Dolly, the question was, before we take a break, my question was, my colleague just asked why there are a lot of deaths that took place in Liberia already.
I do know of. I heard it, Mr. Kamara. Let me comment on that. I was just trying to emphasize on what need to be done in this main case. We need to start from this to establish this fact, to know whether Eugene Nangwe have any conversation with this man, or any meeting with this man, or any association with this man, or they sit in one table at any occasion time to drink liquor or to eat food. They need to establish that because they say they met a person. So that needs to be done by the police. The other people concerned about the two auditors that were found in the car to Broad Street Snapper Hill. The former president of Liberia, damaged that case, reaching best known to himself. So obviously, if I am to be the investigator on that case, that particular case need to be really, really looked into, because on the crime scene, in the car, there was a scent found on the body of this two persons that passed away. How the scent get to them in the car? And when the president came out and said that they got killed by carbon ulcer. Carbon ulcer can produce scent? I don't know. So obviously, that thing need to be looked into. So, but that was a complete serious political case. The reason why the police did not look into it because president already jeopardized the case. Okay. So the police will not do anything about it because the police were working the will and the pressure of the president. The president is the one that caused the problem for that case. So if the government are there now, serious, to bring people on board, we should start the case to find out from the president how he got to know, the former president, how he got to know that people were killed by carbon ulcer.
Are you talking about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf?
No, not Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry, President George Weah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Dolly. Thank you very much.
You talk about the three young men that went to that.
So it's okay. We just want you to comment on this one. Thank you. We'll not just move on because we still need to. Leaf, I want you to prepare for our commercial. Then we'll come to the meat topic, the bone tonight. What is happening in Liberia? What has happened? I want to get a comment. But before we go there, we want to take a commercial break. Linford, prepare for the commercial break. Then we will tell you what's happening in the House of Legislature tonight. Mr. Dollar, thank you. I'm sorry for cutting you off there because we just got some time. We want to just go into more details on what's unfolding in the House of Legislature, which was the issue for the past 7 months. And I want to see how much we can get your views on that. And you're also joining us. This is the Born Liberia. If you're just watching us right now from wherever you are, we say, please, we ask you to please share the show, be part of it. We come here every Tuesdays and Friday. We discuss Liberia. Also, we have international scene. But tonight, my colleague Paul just, abruptly left for some family reasons. So probably we're going to be having lay hand on the international segment of this program, which Paul always present. Paul just left for some serious family reasons. So we just let you know, but we may not be able to bring you the international segment of this program tonight. But in the meantime, Linford, you want to take us through the commercial break? Then come back, we'll discuss what is unfolding in the House of Legislature. Thank you, and we'll be with you soon.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hans Vodka, Hans Honey, Hans Bitter, and Hans Original Vodka. Hans Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drank Mama happy. Hans Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hans Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000-979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hands North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hands Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hands Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy, in my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We are stuck. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. It's supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Linfo, for that commercial break. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. Dollar, for your comment. We want to go straight to what's happening in Liberia right now. The first thing that make news, this is the guy. Au revoir, Kova. He's got bye-bye. That's a French word, au revoir. Bye-bye. He's waving bye-bye. Before we go to what happened behind Kova, what happened after Kova has left the scene, let's talk a little bit about him. Who is he as a person? Did he really fight a good fight? He said, I fought a good fight. Did he really fight a good fight? And Ezekiel is a head lifted up high. Or who do you know Kova was for the past 7 months? Guys.
Yes. Can I come in?
Go on.
Thank you very much. From it's my personal view.
Yeah, of course it is. We know.
To be honest, this gentleman, because fanatic Kufo, he wasted a lot of time.
He wasted their time. I mean, you could be a little bit louder, sir.
He wasted a lot of people time. He wastes little money that he have on the lawyers and stuff. And he betrayed himself and betrayed his colleague and betrayed the supporters of him. You see, what happened on this year is the statement he made before giving the resignation is very, very premature, in my view, saying that
Di Lorenzo, Di Grace.
Sorry about that.
He said that his office sergeants were starving, they were not getting paid. Some of his colleagues then were suspended, and they were not getting paid, and their sergeants were also suspended. They were not getting paid. Things were getting tough, and here and there. So for this reason, he decided to send in a resignation to pave the way for new election. So before you go into a fight, you must look at two things: the benefits and the consequences. He saw the consequences of this fight because he was not the first person that was involved in this kind of situation at the House of Representatives. Aaron Snow, it happened to him. Tyler, it happened to that man. He's a third person. He said, Mountain will be different from where they be. They did not waste the people's time.
Okay, Mr. Dollar, Mr. Dollar, let me ask you questions. I think Linford, you can also ask if you like. Yeah. Please. Well, let's do it this way. You just said he wasted Liberian people time. He wasted people money. He betrayed his colleagues. That's what you're saying. For the fact that you should have done that earlier, why he did it now? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Why he did it now? Why you couldn't do it earlier? Why you couldn't do it from the beginning?
Oh, but he said he won. He fought a good fight and he won an election. This guy resigned, and when he resigned,
God, listen to me. Listen to me. You could see what went on right now. The same number that people had when they started fight with him, the same number they have in the vote today.
43.
43. You understand what I'm saying? The number was there. And they did not take 43, 37 to him, or 31 number to him to say, okay, recruit yourself and open flow for debate. None of these things will happen. So what kind of fight did he fight? Because he won the case. We know that if you see people supporting him, or logical people supporting him because they knew the fight that he was fighting, it was a real fight. But what he did, alas, that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
What he did, alas.
Okay. I know we'll come back to the Linford. What's your take on this? Mr. Dollar said, I mean, JFK, Jonathan Fonati Kofa should have resigned, gave this thing a space 7 months ago, let Liberian people have their peace of mind, move on. And this should have finished and done. But why at this time? Why you should have done early, did it now? Do you agree with him? And
I disagree. I disagree.
Okay, go on.
Disagree.
Okay.
And my disagreement stems from the fact that it wasn't Fonati Kofa who started the fight. It was the other hand. Now listen. Fonati Kofa did not walk to the House of Representatives and say, gentlemen, I am resigning. I don't want to be anymore. It was people who plotted against him and removed him, quote unquote, illegally. And he was fighting the illegal removal. And he all along stated to these people that to remove me, let's go through the proper channel as per the laws in our book, which states that we have to go in chimos, to put my sins before me, and I have the right to either defend myself or to find myself guilty or not. Okay, now it was the other side who gathered the number, because according to them, before you can remove anybody, you must have certain amount of people to form a quorum to remove that person. It was the other side who said, okay, we have the number and we have removed you. Okay, so in any case, Kofa didn't stand a chance. He was really fighting, let's say, for his life. It's like all of us here, the four of us are on a kino, right? We go in, then the three of you throw me over from this kino. So I'm not fighting for my life. I said, gentlemen, we're supposed to cross. You put me on the kino, let's cross for anything they won't get through. You'll say no. So I cross, and I get tired. I fought, and I get tired. I said, okay, send you throw me over. Let me just agree to what you guys say. That's what Kofa did. Now, I did a podcast today and I discussed the technical thing that was talking. It was Richard Kun and his people who delayed the who dragged this thing all along. They declared themselves as well majority bloc, that meaning that they have the number that could remove Kofa. Kofa said, okay, let's go in the house, in our chambers, and do it the way we can do. Let's go do it in our soul bush and you treat me properly, then I will resign. And he said, no, they dragged this thing on. So it's good that Mr. Dolly made reference to the number. The same number that Kofa had, I mean, or from the start, it was the same number, almost the same number that he had today.
43.
Yeah. And he had 26.
26, yeah.
Yeah, but at some point they went 33 and people
33, something like that.
Yeah, people started crossing over. But the majority bloc, they also almost had the same number today, 43. So why did Kun waste all this time? Because if I will see boxing, if I know I can box you, you are a boxer, I give you the challenge. Let's go in the ring. Okay? I can't say, my man, I can't hear you standing talking and say I can beat you. I know I'm strong, I can beat you. Then you say, come in the ring and I can't come. So it wasn't Kofa who delayed the process, but it was Kun who delayed the process because he knew that he could stay win. And today in my podcast, I said two things. There were two possibilities for Kun. Number one, when Kofa was illegally removed, Kun assumed power right away. And then the government recognized Kofa and Kun, and they started doing business with him. What did he do? He presided over the budget. The budget went through. Number two, he also presided over the State of the Nation address. And besides that, he had been forming for other committees. So he had functioned in this position, even though illegally, for 6 months plus. Okay? So today, people were talking, oh, yeah, he won Musa Belete. This. Even if me, or even if you are taking a frog from the swamp to come right against Kun will stay win that fraud. Even if you are put Boaka himself against Kun will stay win him in that position. For what reason? Number one, Kun have been functioning in that position, and he had done a lot of things, and the government is moving. Okay, number one. Then number two, Kun had the number, the persistent, his number was constant and persistent. That number, it fluctuated, but it still remained powerful enough to remove Kufa. So Kun could say the true possibility was, okay, I have been performing in this position for a while now, and I have done a lot of things, okay, and I have the number to remove Kufa compared to what he had. So I would say, which would have happened, or
can I ask you one question before you
the second option was what he did.
Yeah, Clifford, you want to ask you a question? Go on.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. What was the basis of a Kun argument that taken to, a fanatic argument that taken to the court? What was the basis?
You mean the first court trip or the second one?
The first one, the second one.
Okay, the first one was he said he was illegally removed. He went to the court, and
what he wanted to be.
He wanted the due process.
Good. Did the due process take place before the election, before he resigned?
The due process did not take place, but I don't know. It took place because what he wanted was they should go to the chambers. To go.
No. Listen. The due process take place before he resigned.
Mr. Dollar, be clear now. Listen, tell him what you want. The due process he wanted was they wanted to go and get a 49 number and go and vote against him or raise the issue in the chambers.
Raise the issue in chamber and ask him to recruit himself and approach him on the allegation. He defend himself. If he found guilty, he be removed and the seat became vacant. Election go take place.
Okay,
that's the reason why he went to court for.
That did not happen.
That did not happen.
When I went to work this morning, I started the moment that thing came on. I was switching between 3 to 4 different channels. Closing argument, Blaze FM or Blaze TV, and Spoon. So by the time they one goes on, I'll switch to the other one because I want to follow it. I didn't want to say. Now, Kufa made one statement. He said, like you quoted him, that his staff, in an interview before, or I think 1 or 2 days ago, he said that his staff were not taking pay, most of the colleagues were suspended, and he didn't want to be bearing a name while somebody else is doing the work. I don't know whether he listened to that part of his speech or he interview. He said, I'm sitting down home and I'm not doing the work. I got a title of somebody else is doing the work. So I think it was just only like fatigue. It was a fatigue of fighting and losing battle. He knew that you were going to resign. Kofa was not, if aim of fighting was not to go back as one speaker, but he wanted it. And remember that they have been doing negotiations, okay? And remember that these guys, even the majority of black, have been adamant to even go to chambers, to take over to chambers. So if you ask that question whether the due process was done, then I'll also ask the question, why did the majority black agree to go for election when they have not been moving all the time? You see, so there were some negotiations.
Yeah, let me answer that question shortly before Jimmy come in. The reason why the majority decided to go to the election today, what they wanted, it happened for them.
Yeah, because
they wanted, listen to me. They wanted Kofa to resign and leave that chair completely. And Kofa said, I cannot resign unless we go through the due process.
Yeah, and they agreed to go there.
We're not going to due process review because we got a number, we got a quorum, we got 43 number. So by right, when you got a number, you can dismiss somebody. Kofa said, no, that's not the case. The case is if you got a number, you go in a chamber and ask the person to recruit. You say you investigate the person and find him guilty, then you replace him. Then someone else come in. The person will resign. Somebody then you can have the general election. I mean, you can have the election. And that was the argument of Kufuor and his people. What went on Onokobo or Indo to pressurize Kufuor to make this statement and to agree to resign is best known to them. It's not conveyed to the public. But some invisible hand took place from our view. When I say invisible hand,
that is assumption. That is assumption. That is assumption.
Yeah, listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, what Kufuor said is what we should go back. The case is with Kufuor, and what Kufuor said is what we should go back. Kufuor said, for the sake of his people, his staff, who are dealing.
That's what I'm saying. He should have done that earlier because he knew the fight that he was fighting. Because he said it from the beginning. He said, "I don't want to be speaker anymore." But my concern is, let's go through the process. And if people still refuse to go through the process, he took the people to court. The court come out with a decision. The people stay argue. Then they say, in fact, the court did not make things clear. Then he went back to the court again. He said the court must come and make the situation clear. The court come and make it clear to everybody.
Yeah, but
so that showed that he was doing the right thing.
Yeah, but because the code made it clear, this is why even the majority black themselves decided to go high election, to go even forget about putting his in before because they already accused him. Forget about giving him he recused himself as long as the deputy were acting. So that's automatic. You know, he recused himself. That's automatic. You're not holding the gavel.
Okay. I will not force you to.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Listen, fine. Good argument here. I know you all make your case here. But I want to just drop this here. Linford, I think Fubi Herrings was on the show a couple of times telling us it will eventually end. I just want to remind Linford that he said a couple of times that what will happen to this case? He said they will strip off the speaker, Honorable Kufuor, all the entitlements, and they will give him the title as the speaker. He will be doing nothing, but our guys will be doing the job. He said that. He said, look, eventually he will just be given the name. He will take off all the security arrangements, all his benefits, and he will be stripped of everything. The government has the power to do that. And you'll be left with only the title that making insignificant. And he knew that. And this being said, why you will continue that fight? At the end of the day, you're not being paid for 6.5 months. Your staff not being paid. You've not been paid. Oh, he's okay, guy, because financially he's well seated. So compared to others that work with him, and the other 26 or other staff that were the minority members for him, they are also running out of money. He knew that he was fighting a fight that he cannot continue because nobody is getting money from anywhere. Okay. And if he said that Musa that was head of the caucus, Musa is well, financially suited, so he does not need any money. And he and Musa were better off compared to other members. He knew that. But why will he continue the fight knowing at the end of the day he will give in? That's the question.
Yes. That's my concern.
No, but see, okay, even the chicken that you will kill, when you grab that chicken, it will stay fine. Even when you cut in the chicken throat, you die, you stay fine. So when you cut it throat, it will stay fine. And the hair not there, it will stay fine. So I don't think every fight deserves to win, but there are fights that you do now. He has set record. So,
but did you win? What record did he set? Did you win in this fight?
No, winner. They say everybody run a marathon, right? Not everybody can win. So because I'm running against Usain Bolt, and I know Usain Bolt will win, so I say I'm not running.
Can we say that he dragged the people into a situation?
He did not drag. He followed the procedure.
Okay.
Okay,
I understand now.
Let me ask.
I want to highlight what you're saying, boss. I will give you a chance. So you're saying that the procedure was he wanted election to take place. Election took place.
Yes, that was it. Rule of law. Let do it the proper way. Okay.
We're not done the proper way.
Yes, but
you were done the kangaroo way. The kangaroo way.
Yeah. So are you saying that you're not supposed to fight at all? You're not supposed to put on a fight?
Yeah, when he realized that he don't got no support from the executive.
Yeah, so that's why
when he realized that you don't have no support of the executive,
he started a fight.
As a lawyer, as a corporation lawyer, first thing you're supposed to carry in mind to say, look here, if I fight this thing here, I don't get support from the executive. I think I will not win the case. So you better that will not go forward. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
if he stays safe
again,
listen to me, Lamford. The man who was a lawyer for him told him, "You fighting right. I'm a lawyer. I'm not a politician. I'm a lawyer. What your fight, you're right. You will win the case." Politically, he knew he's not going to get a quorum. So what he's supposed to do? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but yeah, you see, I'm not.
No, Lifa, you made your case. I mean, you're clear. With this, nothing to fight about. You made a case, Mr. Dollar. What Lifa is trying to say here?
If we make the case, if we make a whole thing about winning, then I don't think anybody should ever go to court, because if
people go to court to say they want to win.
Mr. Dollar, I think we need to understand what Lifa is saying.
Yeah.
What he's saying here is like, okay, this man wants to rule the law to typically being a lawyer, whether he wins or not, he wants to set a precedent. That is, you cannot just remove somebody from office without the due process of law. Eventually, he had the option, he had the gavel to say that, look, no way, if they don't want to go to the chambers and put the case against me, I have the right to give in to allow election to take place, so we have a proper leadership in the house. So this is what he's saying. So but one thing Oliver also saying here, that we should also understand that he went to the court, and the court gave him the right that he has a right. He is a legitimate speaker, which he took. And he went to, okay, for the sake of the country, you should also understand, and the sake of my staff, I'll put it in arrest. I'll resign. Election take place. Whoever wins become a legitimate speaker. So let's leave the two arguments. Then have a case. But anyway, we'll take a musical break. Come back and go to after Mr. Jonathan Funati Kofa, who is next, and what will happen in the house. So we'll take the musical break. We'll be back, gentlemen.
What we want do to please you? We get people around, they acting that they let you when you show up. I saw you turn your body and it choked off. You buy your Lego, hey, attend them. People buy you Lego, hey, attend them. If you can post your man, hey, attend them. The day you post your man, hey, attend them. If you won't ever go ever your family, don't bring that nonsense to somebody. If you won't ever go ever your family, don't bring that nonsense to somebody. So I said to bole. It's a long storage like Perry. Oh, get bole. It's a long storage like Perry. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. You let me, you not let me, I will not die. You can't say, you not can't say, I will not die. They spit for me, I'm walking off my fire. They try to throw me down, but I bounce back. I survive. They try to play that weed, but still I survive. I wouldn't have bounce on me, one for my enemy. They try to perfect my life. I tell them realize that God begin, you won't try. Playing with fire, they perfect my life. I tell them realize that God begin, you won't try. Playing with fire. What's a jibenyo? What's a jibenyo? Then I owe me, then I owe me, then I owe me, yeah, yo, yeah, yeah, yo, yeah, yeah, yo, yeah, yo, yo, yeah, yo, La pizza, and I want you bring it to the Uber. We is a oh, I'm not talking away, and they own your my sister. Wobi,
Well,
yeah, thank you,
back
Linford.
again
Thank
to
you
the
for that
bottom
stuff.
line Liberia discussions.
Linford,
Yeah.
right now. The picture, thank you guys. Thank you for that break. I want to remind you, if you just joining us, this is the bottom Liberia coming to you live from the center of Europe. I'm in Manchester, United Kingdom, where my colleague Linford is in what is that? Norway. Linford is in Norway, where I have Mr. Dolly, who is with us tonight. He's coming from Manchester as well. Got two persons from UK. And we'll be going to what is actually happening in the house. Election took place. JFK, Jonathan Fanatikova, left the speaker position. Who next? And what happened? What's going to be happening now? So we're going to be discussing that right now. We'll take a couple of minutes. We're not going to drag too much. We'll talk to you. If you have questions, ask us. But we want to remind you that every Tuesday and Friday we are here. We are right here on this platform to discuss Liberia as well as international issues that make news around us. Our guy who handled the international desk case of for some emergency issue, Paul, the Lord Chiller place, with us tonight. So probably on Friday we'll be bringing more on the international scene. Linford, now we'll go straight to you. I want you to take me through this. What we have here. What happened today when, let's say, Kova left the office? He's no more. He resigned. Election took place today in Liberia, and this is what happened. I'll just put it right up here. If you just joined us, this is what happened. You can see, Linford, can you describe the picture on the screen? What is that? What do you see on the screen right now?
Okay, the picture I see on the screen, I see the newly elected. But you see, the thing was confusing.
Okay.
This guy was elected before, and he did not resign.
Okay.
Then he also ran today. So by virtue of him running today, does that mean that all that the thing he did, or does that mean that the Supreme Court was right when they said that everything he did was ultra virus? Because,
okay.
Yeah, because like for instance, we elected Bwaka, and Bwaka the president today.
Yeah.
Then I go say, okay, I want us to have election. President Bwaka turned out war, then Bwaka can run against me again. So does that mean that you're not, you're not president all the time? But to leave all the complications, he ran today and he won. And like I said, even if you are brought frog from the swamp, he will still win. If you are still brought a king, he will still win the king because he had the advantage in that particular era. And people were saying, oh, Musa cannot win. Musa did extremely well. Number one, Musa has never been close to this job. This guy was there under a solo arrangement.
Yeah.
So for Musa to really contest with him and Musa to meeting the same number with the minority black, I think I gave Musa or tap on the shoulder.
We'll talk a little bit about Musa. I want to go back to who is Musa a little bit. Thank you for bringing that. Thank you for bringing that out. We'll go back.
I see this guy. I see Richard Kun being congratulated by his supporters, and this is obvious because he took power and he appointed committee heads. So the committee heads will have to, of course, bow to him because that's one of the things that they've been fighting for. And I've always said that if this horse was unattractive in terms of benefits and immunities and salaries and whatever, you will not have all these things happening. If these guys were making like $2,000-3,000, no scratch car, no extra car, they taking taxi to go to work, you will not see all these things. You see it? But because of the immunities, so they'll go the extra mile,
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. A very good description there. Mr. Dolly.
Yeah.
What do you see the atmosphere? You see the people are hawking there, and somebody looking at Fonati is looking. If you see right on the left, is that Fonati right there, right, guys? No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
Okay. Okay. What do you think going to happen now? The same Richard Kun has won the election. He's gone back in there. What do you look? What the atmosphere going to look? Going to be friendly or going to be hostile? What do you think the atmosphere look like in the house after this election? It was a tense election, I believe.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Look here. The thing is clear. It's a clear cut. In that house, the house will never be normal.
It will not be the house. It will be what? It will not be a house.
You will not be normal.
It will not be a house. Why will it be?
You will not be normal until the Joe Barker's administration is over. The next code of office in the House of Representatives take place. Richard Kun then become history, and some other people become history.
Wow.
That's the only way that house will be normal. And I hope the Liberian people would think towards this, the next general election, to do proper selection based on character.
Okay.
They should look at people's character. They should vet the people properly before they vote for them.
Okay.
Because you see, this thing here is just like a time bomb you set up. You know, you will never people that were affected, people that were denigrated will never be happy for any reason.
I want to ask, sorry, I'll go back. We're going to be going back and forth. I won't go
No,
back.
but Chiman, sorry.
No, I want to go back to Linford. But before you add that, I want to ask questions you can add to what you say.
I just want to ask more thing to what he said.
No, but I'll give you now so you can answer me to that.
You will come.
Linford, Mr. Dollar says something. What do you want to add? It's okay, but then I want you to add this to it. They say something, the house, Mr. Dollar said the house is going to be denigrated, the house is not going to be a house anymore. Do you believe they're going to happen? Is there a Rachel Queen, a God that can unify the house to make the house a house that can change the dynamics or the narrative? You think so? Or no. Is not a God that will do it?
Yeah, listen.
This question is for Mr. It's for Linford, Mr. Dollar.
That question for Linford?
Yes. I want Linford to answer. Help me answer that.
I could give man.
You'll give your thought on that as well. Let me just, Linford, what do you think about the question Mr. Dollar said? The house is not going to be together anymore. The feeling is going to be tense. It's going to be a hostile, a toxic ground. You believe that there's nothing going to happen except there's a new leadership in there, new reps in our house before things come back to normal. But for now, he doesn't see any way out. Do you believe that?
I believe that Richie Kuhn is not. He does not have that charisma.
He's not a unifying figure.
No, he cannot. Number one, and number two, if you look at the structure of his you have just gone through a very tough time, wrangling, and then election was held, and then you won. Then you form committees. He named more than 10 committees today, and their members and their heads. Now one person from the Funati side that he had just won or that he had just been in problem with was member of any of those committees. So how can such a man be a unifier? Probably he appointed some members, but there were no head, no committee head from the Funatic side. So what Mr. Dolly said, I tend to agree with him. That house will not be normal because number one, there have been a lot of bruising. And he continues on the trend that he is on, that he will sideline all of the opposition or all of the people that are against him or that they were against, okay? And think that, they do not matter. He cannot unify our house because the bruise is too much. People were suspended, and that was one of the sticky issues today, that before the vote can go ahead, people who were suspended should be reinstated, and the minority was saying, no, the people were not suspended rightly according to the court's decision. Everything they did was wrong. So there's nothing like suspension. They were not suspended in the first place. And all these things, it will stay exist. So these guys will be one side, the minority group, they will be one side, and you see disruptions in our house. Yeah, they will work. It will almost be like what they've been doing, but at least they will have two factions. But I don't think he can unify the house.
So, Dolly, you want to say something about that, please?
Yes. You see, as I said initially, Mr. Kamara, you see, I continue to say, and I will always say this: when we're putting people in a leadership, we should look at their background to know who is this person, what he's capable of doing. When we look at that and see good character in the person, we put the person in the leadership, he will do a better for us. But the point of that particular house, let's forget about it, he's not going to be normal until the next administration. That one for sure. He's not going to be normal. Kun is not someone who can unify people. He got character. He got characters. He doesn't, when I say something, then people will say I'm becoming personal. But relatively is a fact. Even at this moment, as I'm talking to you, his wife took him to court. He and his wife in court. He didn't able to sort up things with his wife.
Okay. All right.
So what he have done now in the house, we in collaboration with somebody's hooligan that right behind him, looking at the financial opportunity they got. At the end of the day, they will not let to relinquish whatever position they got right now to allow any other part from the minority group to occupy any of this team for unification. No, they will not do it. But I bet you, if we think wisely, we the Liberian think wisely, and keep record, majority of these people will not be re-elected during the general election. But one thing that I am really, really baffled with is this. Why is it that we cannot solicit signature to kick some of these people then out of their house? Petition them out based on their character. I don't know. 10,000 human beings from any consequences can do it. What the Liberian people are not doing. So basically, those are the representing the happy way, the way they're behaving. So I'll leave it that way.
Okay.
So I will give you one small history about how people used to come into the House of Representatives and Senate in America. There was a famous FBI director, they used to call him Agahuo. Agahuo was a man, anybody want to be representative or senator, you want to run for any electoral position, they used to go to him to please tell them whether declare or not. Recent age, Agahuo used to start investigating people from the school day. You used to have people in every school to check the character of the people from the childhood level up. So when you had a bad habits in the school day and come out, and tomorrow you want to run for responsible position, I will call you, say, Mr. Man, you're not qualified to be there. And that person will not go there. So we're not doing that in Liberia. We're not checking people's character. So at the end of the day, anybody come in and take whatever they want to take and misbehave like this. You think that thing's supposed to happen in the house of law? No. What is happening?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Right. Thank you very much, guys. I think we first spent 2 hours, 12 minutes or 13 minutes right here on the borderline. So I want to remind you, we are here every Tuesday and Friday. We discuss Liberia as well as we talk about international. My colleagues are always here Friday, so I'm almost off most of the time. And when I say those who join us or share the show, thank you very much for joining the show. Always come be part of the show, share the show, and also don't forget to subscribe. So anytime we come on, you'll be alerted. Sometimes we'll pop on when there's like something breaking news in Liberia. We come on and run the show. I want to go around again and ask my colleagues who are there, what do you think the Liberia going to look like on our Kun? Because we're looking at stabilizing the political, situation in the house. It's very crucial, and we seem to agree here that Kun may not be the person that do the job for us because that legislation is fragmented right now. How do you stabilize that? My colleague Linford just said he made he appointed some committees and legislative lieutenant committees appointments. And no member of the opposition were in the coordinated minority bloc, so-called minority bloc, were not appointed as head, and that shows sign of disunity. So, colleagues, I know we've discussed it. I mean, we're going to be discussing it throughout the week. I know tomorrow, next Friday, we're going to be discussing Liberia as well. So, before we wrap up here, I want you to go around and what do you think we're going to look like after all the 6.5 months of these impasse in the House with its previous speaker? What is from your personal point, what do things will look like for Liberia in general? Because the House is holding most of the stuff. What you guys think would be like from Kun leadership as Speaker of the House? What do you hope to see in Liberia right now? I'll go to Lynn for first, then Mr. Dollar the last.
Well, we wait to see. I believe in having been a classroom teacher, especially from the elementary level, I feel that there is no dull student. I feel that everybody can make it. You can try if you give the person a proper, you know, teaching, the person can make it. So the guy has won. You see, I don't want to believe that Kun is really a bad individual. I don't know him.
Okay.
But professionally, and then even though what they do is not a professional job, but according to what they do, the process by which they went is where some of us have problem. But now that he's I made a couple of posts the morning, provocative posts, just pulling the guy's leg. As I said, he was power drunk and all these. I made all the posts. But now that he is the proper and legitimate elected speaker, let's give him the chance to see what he'll do. This is our Liberian thing, right? Oh, it's too soon. So let's give him the chance. Let's see what he'll do. But I don't want to put all of my eggs in one basket and say, oh yeah, he will do well or he will not do well. So we give him the opportunity. Because like I said, my experience from the classroom, if my student fail in math this trip, I know maybe he can come back and probably pass math the next trip, and then the next time maybe he might fail in science. So let's give him the opportunity. Everybody can do their best once they have the opportunity. So he has the opportunity. So let him prove himself, and from his work, we'll judge him. Okay, that's why I think it's a quotation in the Bible. I don't know whether it goes in the Quran as well. That says, by their fruit we shall know them. Because orange will not bear cucumber, and when you plant cucumber, it will not bear tomato. So let's see, from his fruit, we'll get to know him. So that's all I can say for now. I don't want to judge him.
Mr. Dolly,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, you see, the thing, the starting of this entire episode is clear. Like what the gentleman just said, he said we should identify food based on what they bear. The problem of the matter is this. Even today, the camp of provocateur sound, they put on t-shirt on this particular day. They put on t-shirt. All the minority group put on t-shirt to provoke the minority group. They say law is a law.
Yeah, the law is the law.
You understand what I'm saying? That alone is the provocative. You say you believe in law, and you did not abide by the law. Those that say law is the law is the minority group. You defeated them, so you put a t-shirt on. It's provoking the people. Church of people, you think they will unify the people? No, they will not unify the people. I believe that all of them will be there to get what they want to get. There are incentives and salaries and here and there, and until the next general election. They let Liberian people decide on them. That's how I see it to be.
Okay. Thank you very much, Guy. Before we take a round, do you have to final takeaway? Now we got to wrap up and say a big thank you for a wonderful Tuesday. Linfo, I want to go back to you. You got anything to tell us before we take our exit this Tuesday evening here in Europe? What do you got to share the show, and what do you think, finally, personally, what do you think about the whole show, and what do you look up for Liberia in the next couple of years?
Can I make my final statement?
Mr. Dollar is coming after Linford.
Okay, for my takeaway and my final word, I'd like to say thank you to all of us, especially Mr. Dolly, who is not used to this thing, because we sit down here, we do the talking all week, so we know we used to a little bit. But he's not used to it, but he did well today that he spent all this time with us. And this is one of the longest time we have gone 2 hours and 30 minutes. And our viewers who have been there all along, and we have some new viewers today, at least that I see for the first time, like Trocon Mo, maybe Trocon has been here before. We can know everybody. Sunshine, all the people. But let us say thank you for being with us. And next week, Friday, this week Friday. Oh, today is Tuesday. This week Friday will be here again, 7 o'clock Liberian time, and 9 o'clock Central European time, and 8 o'clock GMT. So if you have the opportunity, just pop in and make this place your home. Takeaway is that what happened today in the House of Representatives will set precedents. Kofa fought a good fight, even though everybody runs the marathon, they don't win, and I don't think he wanted to win because he was already plotted against. And where the setting of where they are, it goes by number. So no matter how hard he had fought, no matter how right he was, once he couldn't get that number because of the plot against him, he would not have won. But he put up a good fight. And like I said, even if you're gonna kill your own chicken on your wedding day or killing cow, that cow will fight. You got the truth and will still be fighting on the day. So Kufa, for me, he fought a good fight. And we can hope that the new leadership of the House of Representatives will first of all try to unify the people. But from what I saw today, well, unification seems to be a distance away. But nothing is impossible. So, as your question, where we hope to see Liberia in the future, we all hope that Liberia will be in a good place. And something that is worrying me that we need to talk about, we have not talked about, is the trend of global events taking place, but Liberia remains mute, and Liberia try to play a neutral role. And so Liberia should get on its feet as one country that fought for the independence of other African countries. When I always make a parable here, right? If you got hunchback people living in the town, and one of them died, and since the guy has a hunchback, he cannot fit in a casket. They'll break the bone, try to break the bone so he can fit in a casket. And the rest of them that are standing will start crying. They're not crying because their friend died, but they're crying the way they're breaking the bone of that guy. That's how when they die, they'll break their bones too. So if one African country is going through some problem, I think the other African countries should be concerned because the table can turn around anytime. So it was a good show, like I said, and thanks again to Padoli and our colleague Paul had to lead the show because of some sad news. He will be breaking that news to you on Friday if he'll be here. But we are with Paul in spirit and the entire family. And also thanks to Francis who was here. And thanks to Ijima for ably conducting the show. And so this is what we do here. Everybody can pop in and everybody is able to do the same thing and even better. So we want to say thanks and have a good night. Padoli, we hope this will not be the last time.
Mr. Dolly, what you got? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Lanfo. Lanfo, I will be glad to be part of you guys every Tuesday, to be honest. This is one of my favorite talk shows.
Thank you.
And as I said initially today, that I was struggling to get there. Finally, I'm there. So finally, I'm there. So what happened? My fear is, as an older person, we always want to see the good thing for our country. You see, my fear in the whole thing is, old man Barker, can he make our country to be a stable country in terms of rule of law? At that age, I hope you have a second thought to say, look here, I am on my way to my creator. But what am I leaving as a legacy for the order to follow? That should be rule of law. I hope you will have that second thought to prevail over this young man that took over today as the Speaker of the House, because he got no sense of direction. He needs some guardians. And the only person that can straighten him out, because that's the person that makes him to be a strong person to reach into where he is today, which is the president, because the president tell all his cabinet ministers and the directors and things there to liaise with him, to even exercise the other people, to seize the other people's salary, where all of them have the equal right, and he was doing the wrong thing, but power was given to him by the executive to confiscate the people's salaries, to confiscate the people's incentives. So the executive have the same power to make him to do the right thing. But if the executive refuse to adhere to the rule of regulation, definitely our country will continue to be limbo like this. I hope that should not be the case. So I thank you all very much for allowing me to be on bottom line, and I will always be available at all time. And I thank Mr. Jamel Kamara for putting me on today, and I thank Brother Lamford. Lamford, you know he's my junior brother. We all from the same country, one country.
I know, right?
So,
don't bring that to your thing. Don't
no,
come.
No, brother, we from Bon.
All right, let's.
People.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us.
We are the most honest Liberian ethnic.
Oh, good. All right. We'll take that.
Because our honest is the people say they're not stupid.
All right.
Because we are honest.
How do you say that in Pele?
Eh?
How do you say that in Pele? That people think that Pele posted, but they are not. How do you say that?
That guy could
work. Liver, give me a chance. I want you to speak the Pele. Huh? Oh, okay. Okay, then very much. Thank you very much. That's all for today. My name is Jamal Kamara in Manchester. And listen now.
Yeah, you
it's okay. It's okay. Thank you very much for the show. Thank you, Dollar, for joining us. And we want to say, look, sorry, we did not bring the international segment because of this technical problem. And our colleague that was handling the international decks, he just kind of left for some serious family reason, and we couldn't bring it tonight. Probably on Friday, this Friday, we'll be bringing it up to you. Linford from far from Norway, thank you for joining us from Linford, Egon Guer, Mr. Morris Jankubadole, also in Manchester, UK. My name is Jamal Kamara. I want to say that's all for tonight's episode. Bottom Liberia, we cut through the noise and to bring you the facts that matter. Join us next Friday. We will continue to deep dive into issues that shape Liberia future. Until then, we say, stay engaged, stay informed. Remember that accountability starts with awareness. This is how being the bottom Liberia. We don't tell what happened, but what it matters. It has been a very nice evening. We want to wish you a happy Tuesday, and we'll see you on Friday. Thank you very much, and have a pleasant evening.
This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube, and online radio. This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook,